We've all heard someone say, hey, I'm just looking. Right? I'm not going to cheat on my spouse. I'm just looking. God created that person and made them beautiful, made him handsome, so we're going to look. See, I believe that those are fighting words. Those are fighting words. That is not God telling us to appreciate his creation at all. It's opening the door to trouble and to issues. Now today, our fighting words are going to come from Matthew 5, verse 28. Challenging passages, right? And what Jesus is trying to strike at the heart at is, a lot of times we think of sin as just doing bad things, but it's what's in your heart. Now, somebody walks by you, an attractive member of the opposite sex, and you might be like, you can't control the fact that that person walks past you. Not at all. You can't control how they look. You can't control how they're dressed. You can't control any of those things. But what you can control is what you're going to look at from that moment on. Are you going to look again? Because that second look, that's on you. The third look and the fourth look, and the more you do that, the deeper you're in. And Jesus says that it's about your heart. And he's talking about lust here, and I think lust is a huge problem in our world. We don't like to talk about it, I know, and many of you are probably like going, man, I feel uneasy that you're talking about sex, you're talking about, maybe about porn or about any of those kinds of lust issues, but that adult entertainment industry brings in lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of money for a reason that people take it in. In our world, it's becoming almost like acceptable, or in some places encouraged, to look at those kinds of things, to look at people in that way. And that is certainly not what God had in mind. He created us to love each other, not use each other, right? To value and to care about each other, not as a means to an end, right? And I'm going to call it what it is. That's evil, right? That's temptation. And so what Jesus does is he helps us the fighting words are to get rid of your excuses. He says, I say to you, it's not about committing adultery. It's not about just cheating on your husband or your wife. He says, actually, if everyone who looks at a woman with lustful intent has already committed adultery with her in his heart. Man, this is the fighting words that we need to point at ourselves, is to be real honest. What's your intent? Like, you may not ever act on it, but I think what happens, and Jesus knows this, the more you think, the more your mind starts to mull it over and look at it. I mean, it goes from thought and fantasy to reality. And then the devil's got you, and he's right, and he's done a number on you. I would say probably 100% of the people that have had affairs, people that have slipped and fallen, and maybe that's you, and I want you to know there's hope. I want you to know that God has a better way for you of life, that He wants to accept you. He wants you to say, look, I don't want that for your life anymore. Breaks His heart when we're doing that. Breaks His heart when we get taken down by these things. That's why He says this, because if we don't take these words and use them as fighting words, we're going to fool ourselves, and we're going to go down that path, and there's nothing good down that path. He says, if you're intending to, if you're looking at someone and going, wow, I'd like to do that, He goes, it's the same as actually doing that. So you can't say, I'm just looking, because when you're looking that way, that person stops being a person. And the devil uses it as an opportunity to make you fall, to make you hurt, to make you bleed. And that's what he wants. He wants to make you bleed. Those are fighting words. Jesus came to give us life, and life to the fullest. Freedom from that. Or we could say, no, I'm not going to look at that. I'm not going to look at her. Man, I'm going to turn from that. I know it's all around us. That's why we need to help each other. Not to berate each other, not to belittle each other, but to lift each other up and to encourage each other in this fight, to be honest with ourselves, right? And to ditch this attitude that says, oh, I would never, and say, well, you know, unfortunately it happens. But the healing is in Jesus. The forgiveness is in Him, in His love. The freedom and the victory is in Him. I pray that we embrace that today and every single day. Let's share this with everyone so that we all might know His freedom and His love. All right, talk to you next time.